Sometimes it's really good to change the frame in how we think about things because it helps us make different connections in our mind. And this is a big connection. So if you have something that you can write on, if you would write thyself down in one word in front of you for 2,000 years on the Ark of the Apollo at Delphi, it says, know thyself. The ancient Greeks knew this. The Romans knew this. The great philosophers knew this. If you just look at this and don't think about it, it'll be like, yeah, know thyself, right? That seems to make sense. But there's something very different about this if you kind of reconstruct it in your brain. So Proctor said to me, he said, so know, like this, thy high self. Know thy high self. So whenever you see that or you think about it, think, know thy high self. What does that mean? That means that what we're doing is we are attempting to reestablish in our mind a different relationship with our higher self. Everything that we learned in our life distanced us. We never were allowed to cultivate the relationship between your consciousness and your higher self. We have a way more of a relationship with our lower self, the part of us that thinks that we can't do that, we can't ask again, we can't approach sales differently, we can't raise our price, we can't have faith. That is a relationship, believe it or not, but it's with the paradigm self, the ego self, that everybody else taught us in our life. So we're literally working on a relationship every day. And I'd like you to think about it that way. I'm working on a relationship with my higher self every single day. And in order to do that, it's a good idea to remind yourself the way that you want to be from your higher self. Given the fact that the paradigm controls more than 90% of what we do every day, including how we think, placing notes and reminders all around your house, your office, your car about you acting as the person that you want to be is extremely important to do that. Sometimes I'll ask a person, are you saying every day? Are you taking out your goal card? Are you reading it with energy and enthusiasm every single day? Well, I was for a few days and then I stopped. Well, that doesn't work because you've got to get whatever it is you're writing down as your goal to move from your conscious mind to your unconscious mind. You're not going to get it until you move it from your conscious mind to your unconscious mind. Why are we not going to get it until we do that? Because what's controlling your vibration or your frequency every single day, 24 hours a day? The lower self. The lower self. So, in other words, when you're not thinking of the goal, your mind goes right back to the way that it views the world, the way that it expects things to show up, the way that it reacts to the things that are happening in your life. And it just reestablishes those as the foundation of who you are. We're changing who we are. We're changing it every day. Now, that requires effort. It requires discipline. It also requires that you have an idea that you know where you're going. What am I changing myself into? But if I'm going to do that, if I am literally going to change as a person, I have to get a new image that I create in my conscious mind to be permanently installed in my unconscious mind, in my subconscious mind. So that 24 hours a day, I'm operating on that frequency of what I want. And there's a hell of a lot in that idea. You're talking about raising your standard, not tolerating things in your life. You stop settling for things. Well, I'll do that now because I can't afford something better. No, you stop settling. You're God's highest form of creation. There should be no settling. Settling is laziness. I don't want to stand in the highest form of myself and demand abundance and prosperity in my life. I'm going to be lazy and, I'm not going to think about that today. You go right back down. everybody that ever talks about changing habits, there's a bit of a disagreement, or, I mean, I don't know if you even call it a disagreement, on how many days in a row you need to do something to change any habit. Some people say 21, some people say 30, some people say 60. And it's probably a little different for every person, meaning that thing that they do, the intensity in which they do it, the cells that fire off in their brain, right? But if you consistently do something for 90 days, you can be pretty sure that you've got it, right? That you've got that habit. But if you miss one day in that period of time, you go right back to zero. Even Nightingale said that. He would ask people to do things for 30 days. And he would say, if you miss one day in the 30 days, you got to start over again. Because why? Because your subconscious mind figured out how to get you to stop that day. And once it figures it out, it establishes a new pattern on the strength of your old pattern, and it can get you to do it again. See, once you stop, quit, or give up, your mind knows how to get you to do it again and again and again and again. And then you've got to create all this energy to get restarted again, right? Come on, you know what it's like when you say you're going to do something and you don't, and you got to restart again. The initial enthusiasm's usually gone, isn't it? And then you're doing it because you're feeling bad because you missed it, and like all the energy is going in the wrong direction. But when you do it every single day, you're building upon that enthusiasm, that excitement, with the end goal in mind. You're establishing the relationship between your conscious self and your higher self. Wouldn't it be great to get to the point where you don't worry, doubt doesn't control your mind? There'll be a doubt that creeps in every once in a while, but it doesn't control you at all. With almost everything in your life, you have no fear. You can consciously create whatever you want, and you know in your higher self, KNOW, you know it's going to happen because you understand the laws. Something goes wrong, you're not worried about it. And that you can, every day, you can do the things that you love to do, and you can continue to create your life any way that you want it. You're not concerned about paying your bills. They all get paid on time. You buy whatever you want. You create whatever you want. You meet interesting and great people wherever you go. You expect big things to happen in your life all the time, and they do. Wouldn't it be great? I think it would be great. How does it get there? It gets there by changing what you're vibrating at every single day. If you don't change it permanently, you don't get on that rocket ship of, I can do whatever I want, and I know it's going to happen. I'm not worried about anything. What's there to be worried about? Life is absolutely amazing. There's challenges, yeah, but you don't worry about them. A challenging can be fun and adventurous and exciting, no matter what the challenge is. When a team member needs extra attention because they need training, or they need help, or they need support, and you're under the crush of how are we going to get this done, there's nothing exciting or fun or adventurous about that. And I could go on all day with various different things that show up in our life all the time. Why be stressed about it? For what reason? That place is there. It's there for every person. It is the totality of the higher self. It is the way we were designed to live. But we have to embrace it. If we don't embrace it, we don't live that way. We talked about the idea of not starting at the result, right? Because when you live that way, those people don't start at the result. They start at, what do I want? And what I want changes the results. I don't start at a deficit. I start in the God-given abundance that's here for me all the time. Why would I choose to start at a deficit? God says, here's everything that you could want. No, just you keep it over there. I'm going to start with the little bit I have over here, and I'm going to struggle, and I'm going to worry, and I'm going to look at it, and it's going to get bigger. And, that's what we do. You could easily switch. There's an abundance. But if you're not moving that image from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind on a daily basis, you will continue to struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle. So it's like health or anything else that you do, like maintenance on a regular basis. Every day you're spending time visualizing the person you want to become, being emotionally involved in it so that it's moving into your subconscious mind. You carry a card of some kind with you with your goal written on it, and you read it several times a day without fail, right? You take a shower every day, you go to the bathroom every day, right? If you didn't, you'd be a disaster. The card's the same way. If you don't put something good in, if you don't put something clean in, if you don't put something powerful in, then what do you think comes out? Everything that we need is already here. All the people that want to do business with you for the rest of your life, they're here. All the money is here. All the opportunity is here. And you're on a level with it that just manifests consistently the more you move that image, right? So when you do that and you take the actions of that person every day, your mind also begins to get the feedback, which speeds it up. It speeds up that connection in your mind, right? Do the thing, get the feedback. Do the thing, get the feedback. Let's remember this little kind of secret that most people don't realize. Desire releases the energy because the negative mind will have you feeling not well, low energy, something's wrong, something's off, right? You're going back and forth in your mind. You're happy, you're sad, you're not sure, anger. Where did those thoughts come from? When you lock into the desire that you want, it gives you all of the energy, all of the motivation. You're excited to get out of bed in the morning. You want to work extra when you want to work extra because it's fun, it's exciting, it's exhilarating. Why? Because there's something you really want. Remember, if you're looking at your goal and it's not putting a smile on your face, if you don't feel the energy shoot through your body, it's the wrong goal. It's the wrong goal. And when I first started to hear this, I used to think to myself, because somebody had made mention that we all had that as kids. And I remember that very well as a kid, being excited, couldn't wait to do something. Where did that go? Where did that go? Well, we started worrying about things. We started not being a kid anymore, and we started doing things that we didn't want to do because we were told that we couldn't do the things that we do want to do. They're all right there. Remember, don't do anything that you don't want to do, and say yes to the things that you do want to do. And your life will be an adventure every damn day. That's the way it should be. It's okay for you to have fun every day. You can have an amazing life every day. That's your birthright. But you got to consistently move that image. So today, the idea is think about, what am I doing? Why am I doing all this work? I'm reestablishing the relationship between me, my human body, and my high self, my higher self. The more I get to know that side of myself, the more powerful I become. And one day you'll look back and you'll go, I can't even believe I was that other person. It was like a different lifetime or something. Every day. Every day. Don't stop here. If this message moved you, hit subscribe and keep building momentum with the next video in the playlist. And if you're ready to take this further, head to our website and grab the free resources waiting for you in the link below. They'll help you start putting this into practice right now.